Now, because many of you are interested in healthcare professions, I wanted to show you this hospital website. You can see here that it's the RYT Hospital, Duane Medical Center, and this is a splash page that the site begins with. Three pages change in succession here. The main one here is Welcome to the RYT Hospital. We're synonymous with the world's most innovative and extraordinary healthcare. RYT Hospital Duane Medical Center offers miracles of modern medicine, and it allows you to learn more about the hospital. And on the Learn More link here, it shows about us and a nice tall building. Doesn't have a sign on it, but I guess we should just know that that's the home of the Duane Medical Center, or the hospital itself, apparently known around the world for the compassionate, personalized care that they provide. But two parts of it that I wanted to draw your attention to are some serious innovations they have here. This is the first male pregnancy. You can see here's a photograph of the pregnant man, clearly a man, and this shows him on the cover of Newsweek. There are some testimonials of individuals responding. They even have a live sonogram activated here that shows ultrasound, and you can switch to an EKG. This is the system time at check-in, and then it has media coverage. You know, here's a link to Oprah's show, U.S. News and World Report, CNN, Egyptian Weekly Magazine, USA Today, for example. So you can see that this is appears to be a pretty credible source. Different links in the hospital. It all looks very professional. Before I get into specifics about that, you need to understand that this is not a legitimate source. It's not true. There is no pregnant man, and all of this was created as a spoof with the intention of illustrating how convincing some of this information can be. It looks credible with an official logo, with all of the photographs, with the people. If we go back to the About Us, we can even see a welcome message from the president of this hospital that shows in large type that it's a letter. And gosh, here's a very credible looking doctor who is holding a clipboard and has a stethoscope in his pocket, lab jacket. All of this more or less proves that he's a credible authority. But nowhere in the site does it have any validation in the form of references or links that tie back to a peer-reviewed journal or a academically sound source. Let's jump to another part of it, the Geno Choice, which is basically a service that they provide, according to this website, that allows you to pick and choose what kind of child you'd like to have. I'm going to use the HTML version because I think it shows up well, but you can choose between the direct clone of yourself, or if you want to have a hetero blending, two homozygous blendings, I guess. This is female and female, and this is male and male. Let's do the clone, just because I'm here on my own. It asks for you to put your thumb on the scanner and then press scan, and oh gosh, the DNA goes flying by, and the scanner seems to be working right through the screen of your computer, which is a great thing. It asks for contact information, which I will put in just because I am also a responsible researcher, and a secret password that applies only to me. Now I can look at my DNA profile, and it seems very reliable because it did scan my thumb. But you see here that I have a 85% predisposition to novelty seeking, 28% predisposition to schizophrenia and anxiety, 10% addiction susceptibility. I don't know where these numbers came from, but it must have been my thumb scan. Myopia is a genetic disease, according to this, and I have a 98% susceptibility to it, particularly if I find this site to be credible. Idiopathic ventricular fibrillation. Basically, it means that for no good reason my heart will flutter, 58%. Huntington's disease, optical nerve atrophy, 29%, neurofibromatosis, 18%, seizures, and so on. Now, the cool thing about this is that I don't have to be satisfied with these limitations. I can upgrade my DNA. And for example, if I wanted to repair the novelty-seeking gene, I could repair that for only $3,972. Schizophrenia is a little bit harder to repair. I'll choose that. And anxiety, I don't want my offspring to be myopic, so I'll check that. And I don't want to have a Fragile X syndrome, which is another $4,128. Now further down here, we can choose whether this is a boy or a girl, and I'm going to describe somebody who's more or less in my category, very tall and brown eyes, brown hair. I'd like to increase their IQ by 50%. I think that would be worth $10,000. And if we could also increase their compassion and sensitivity, that would be worth another $3,000. So let's take a look at our invoice. And here's a total of $28,357. I can pretty much specify the type of offspring I'm going to have. All well and good, except none of it is true. Obviously, if I click Make My Baby, I would assume that my insurance will cover the cost of this procedure, and I'll be ready to prepare the nursery. Now, all aspects of this have, on the surface, very professional, very refined, very credible elements. They have a slogan, the best of nature before you nurture, all of the things that good advertising should include, including a personality that's identified here, Elizabeth Priantner, PhD and MD, a prenatal geneticist and embryologist at the GenoChoice Institute. It sounds very credible, but as I said, none of it is true. So I want you to be careful as you move around on websites and do your research to make sure that the things that you find have a credible basis in fact. I'm sort of torn by showing you things like this because it is unsettling to me that such good-looking websites, websites that appear to have the credibility of an established organization, that I know in fact are just a scam. I'd like very much to help you to be able to see these and look at them skeptically and not be convinced by a single sample here of a website that could really mislead you. So how would you go about trying to find out whether or not male pregnancy is a legitimate medical breakthrough? How would you go about finding whether GenoChoice is a well-established option for reproduction? How would you go about finding if a miracle cure for cancer in Guatemala is legitimate? All of these are choices that you may or may not be faced, but the key is that we all will have to evaluate the quality of the information that we see. We all will have to be able to judge the veracity and the integrity of the sources. On the surface, it looks very, very believable. You know, they've got a lot of diagnostic equipment and a lot of patient photos, testimonials, you name it. There's even a video showing a documentary style of the pregnant man going through his day in New York City. Looked like New York City to me. Interacting with people and talking about the social implications of male pregnancy and so on. I know that people give in to some of these spoofs. I think these are harmless in that there's no real exchange of money or hope, I guess, that's given, but that's not always the case. And you will need to be able to judge whether or not the source you're looking at is credible by validating it through other complementary or contradictory resources. Thanks very much.